Stoicism, Guide to the Art of Ancient Stoic Philosophy. Written by Ferdinand Jives. Narrated by Zach Loving. Chapter 1. Stoicism, Logic without Emotion. Let's talk about Greek philosophy. The story of philosophy begins in Greece. The ancient Greeks provided the world with some of its greatest philosophers. The most famous are the Stoics, who said that men should not aim at pleasure or riches. They should try to make themselves as independent of other things as possible. The austere characteristic of Stoicism was to make Rome a better empire. Many believed it then in Rome, many have believed it in recent decades, and many believe in those same principles now. The goal was for all of mankind to live with conquered passions and to use reason to guide one's decisions. Stoicism's principles could have saved a human Rome had they been adopted accurately. However, to speak austerely and objectively in unpassionate reflection of such principles, one sees the ironic truth that a human world in which Stoicism was rule, in which Plato's philosopher king ruled, and in which the ideals of Marcus Aurelius were made manifest, would be strikingly inhuman. Stoicism was the governing Roman philosophy, and yet, as it is with most idealistic notions, was never adopted into action by the general populace. One of the fundamental beliefs associated with Stoicism is that there is a common law, one that is unchanging for all men regardless as to their acceptance of Stoicism. So, according to this philosophy, one encounters that Stoicism, as are most if not all philosophies at the fundamental level, is really just a description of the pre-existing. To study or to believe in Stoicism is to simply come to terms with and accept the already existing fact of this common law and governing reason. To then use this knowledge to control and conquer one's self would be the incorporation of its practice. However, it is unrealistic to believe in the assimilation of a singular principle into an entire empire, to believe that every citizen will follow a single set moral principle and way of life. Yet, unrealisticism is not enough of an excuse to forego necessity. Therefore, we continue on to a deeper point. The philosophy of Stoicism, the idea of using reason to understand the common law of nature in order to conquer the passions and judge correctly and unbiased, even so far as to cast judgment upon one's self, is strikingly and yet inherently flawed in its own practice. When one uses such an unpassionate rule of the mind, one must look not only inward but also at the very principle of Stoicism itself. Ironically, the flaw in Stoicism may be seen only from the view of a Stoic. From the vantage point of one already under a Stoic influence, one must don Stoicism to accurately analyze its principles. Stoicism's conquest of the passions.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?